So I'm going to try doing another thing here. Um, so when I'm playing around with the blend shape wizard, here's another cool little trick. I'm going to take the body, I'm going to make a quick duplicate, and over here, doesn't really matter where it is. I'm just going to unparent this so it's maybe sitting over here someplace. Okay, cool. I'm going to take this duplicated body and let's isolate it. And let's see, it's locked over here, so I'm just going to right click and I'll unlock. And if I grab this thing with the move tool, turn off that stupid snap to projected centers. Great, I can just move this back a little bit. Okay, great. And maybe all I'm going to do is something really simple. Let's go in here and I'm going to grab a vertice like in the corner of the mouth here. And maybe I should double check and make sure that symmetry, we'll have it on object symmetry. And then typically you have to select it again. And hopefully this thing's got symmetry on it. Okay, I want that one. And then I'm going to turn on soft select and see, volume. Let's go with surface. And I'll hold down, I'm just going to hold down B as a middle click, and that'll turn on, that'll change the fall off. Okay, great. And we'll just do something really simple like the smile. Okay, something really simple. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. Okay, great. Something like that, say. Okay, and let's go back here, and I'm going to bring back the character. Okay, and then I'm going to bring this in, and we'll do, I'm going to use the hypergraph for selection because I've noticed it strangely goes faster. I'm going to start the blend shape wizard, and okay, so that one's a problem. Okay, all you have to do really when you're fixing these things is, let's see if I go in here and I right click, and I'm looking for this to go quickly, but it's going super, super slow. And then, of course, I got impatient and I let go. So the more objects I have, the longer it gets. Anyway, all I was going to do was just take this vertice and move it, but I'm stuck in lag hell. Will it let me do it if I do this? Come on, vertice, holding it down. No, I'm not going to bother. Okay, maybe it'll kick out of this in a second. Wasn't really what I meant to do. I didn't want to sit here and do all this lagging. Oh, and then suddenly, it's almost like I'm going to turn off soft selection and grab that one vertice. And of course, for some stupid reason, it won't pick that one vertice. There. Why is this so painful? Oh. Oh my god. My brain's gonna explode. This is so slow. Okay, I'm just gonna hit average. Boom. Average. And what if I did something evil like grow selection? Then I average them. Okay, whatever. I'll average again. Okay, good enough. And you can kind of see that I could spend some time and tweak up here. Okay, great. Go to the next one. I'm just going to see if I can find control eyebrow. I'm going to find a smile. Or what's supposed to be the smile. And here's an evil trick. Cheek, nose. I hope I didn't skip the mouth just now because I wasn't watching. Okay. Well, if we could even take something like this. Mouth control, say this one. This is M mouth. Okay. So, we got a problem here. This doesn't look good. Okay, it's not good. It might take me a while to recover and fix this. Okay. But, here it is over here. If I did something evil, like here. Actually, this one's got an extra node on it. Say file, optimize scene size. Okay, it should get rid of that extra little ghosty node right there. Okay, and if I take this and I select this, and then I go over into animation and I go to create deformers, blend shape, and I just make a random blend shape out of it. Okay, and here, let's move this thing over here. And all I'm going to do is just turn on the blend shape. So on this object here, if I find blend shape number 2, oh crap, why didn't I select it there? Oh, this is painful. Oh, what's that rabbit doing? Hey, hey, get out of there. Okay, it's just a box. I've got a rabbit running around my feet. I'm just checking out what he's getting. Okay, there's blend shape. Turn on the body. Boop. And now all that information from this one just went over into here. And then I can go in and take this thing and I can delete the history if I want to. But whatever, it doesn't really matter. Oh, I just deleted history and that caused me laggy times. But that's just going to get rid of the blend shape, right? That's baking it into this one. Okay. Come on. Come on. There, it's baked it in. And then if I took this thing, I can delete it. I don't need it anymore. And I didn't select it in the freaking hypergraph. I selected it over here, so it's going to lag for a moment. I'm just going to delete it. Okay, come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on. There, delete. Okay, and then we'll bring this back. And you can see that now the blend shape is stuck on that one that was number 17 or whatever. And then I can go ahead to the next one. And I can keep doing the same thing over again. So I could construct the blend shapes completely separate than this and then just transfer the information over to these new heads. I'm going to stop the blend shape wizard. Okay, so, and I'll just see if that helps. If I select anything, it's going to lag, but I'm giving you the idea. That's what a trick around this if you're having issues with this, because some of the faces it makes are crazy, but I want these controls. They're so nice and easy to use. Okay. And also, too, you're going to notice that the eyes work, too, if I select them with these controls, so you can move the eyes around. So that's working. Okay, then the next thing is let's get some clothes working on this thing. And I think I'm pretty much finished with the face and everything like that, so I'm just going to get rid of this. Actually, let's go to build pose just in case that went weird. Okay, and I'm just going to pause for a second while I set some stuff up. Okay, so I'm back. I'm just going to go in here and I do need to do a few things. Like, first off, let's take a look at this hair. Oh, you idiot. Why did you do this as soon as you do it? You're lagging. So I was selecting the hair, and I'm going to somehow select this magic joint here. Should I pause again? I'm going to pause. Okay, so I got the hair and the joint selected. I'm just going to point out that the joint for the jaw, or for the head, is way the hell down here at the bottom. Not quite the bottom, actually. Actually, the bottom has gone way down because of the blend shapes. It's much further than it was. Anyway, just so you know, that joint is right in here. So if you look around, you can find these things. You can select them and do these things. Okay, great. And I'm just going to go in here to Skin, Smooth Bind. And I'm just going to do it to selected joints. Because we've only got one object, one joint, we don't have to do any weighting. So I can hit Bind Skin. Boop. Done. Okay. And here I got to open this sucker up again for a second. La 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 la. Advanced Skeleton. And I've got this piece of shirt here. So let's go way back up here. La 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 la. A shirt. And actually, by the way, we don't need this stuff to actually be in the reference editor anymore. Okay? So I'm just going to go here to File, Reference Editor. I'm going to select it, and I'm going to go in here and I'm going to File, Import Objects from Reference. Because actually, later on, if you start rendering out a scene, or you start bringing in your characters into scenes, if you end up with reference files, okay, so there's two references on a, like it's another scene is referenced into the file that you're referencing in, you're going to end up with trouble. Okay, there's some issues that start to happen. So I just got rid of that. Anyway, I'm just going to grab the shirt here, and actually if I go in here to select deform joints, I'm going to select them all, and I'm going to have the shirt selected as well. And then I'm going to go in here to Skin, I can go to Smooth Bind, and it's done to selected joints, so it's actually doing all the same joints. And in this case here is student wanted to just have didn't want the shirt, didn't have to have it underneath here, because, you know, they're going to have a coat on here and everything. So, okay, cool. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to select the body first. And then I'm going to hold down shift. I'm going to select the shirt. And then I can go in here to skin. I can use copy skin weights. And I'll just use the default settings. I don't think there's anything big deal here. Boop. It's going to copy the weights. So whatever weights I had on the body down here, I should have done weighting. After I've done all the face stuff, I go in. This thing needs some weighting done to it. But anyway, there you go. So that works. Nice little quick trick. Okay. And we have some other things we're missing. We're missing pants. We're missing a coat and everything. So I'm just going to go File, and I'm going to hit Import. And when I import, I always have a tendency to use the third option. And what did I do in here? Extras. Import. And continue. Okay. So there's these other pieces that need to be put in here. And let's just move it over here. And I did a few things when I was playing around. I went and I redid some of the geometry on the coat. So this is a coat I want to make into nCloth. Let's take that claw. I'm just going to hide that for now. Still got to think about how I'm going to do that one. Because I want to put this onto the advanced skeleton. So that could be tricky. We got pants. We got the buttons. That's going to be tricky. The shoes. So shoes there. I did a very good guess when I was putting in those feet. Because I deleted the shoes for whatever reason. Because I was just trying to make sure that the face worked. I could probably take these shoes and select the deform joints, and I could go in here and do the skin, smooth bind, and then I could probably go in and select the body. I'm just going to do a little trick. I'm going to move the geometry so it's all kind of together. So if I hold down Control and I middle click, I can drop it on top of that one, and they actually swap spots. And so I've got those shoes. So if I grab the body first, then I grab the shoe, and then I did like skin, copy skin weights, and then I could take the right shoe, and I could hold, so select the right shoe, and then select the left shoe, and then I could go in here to skin, and I could use things like mirror skin weights because we got these two different shoes. I selected this one here, and in this case here, it's going to be negative to positive, so I'll flip it around, and I could mirror them across. Okay, so more tricks. Mirror. Done. Okay, so what else do we have to worry about? The buttons. Again, I'm going to worry about that later on. The pants. We're going to do the same kind of trick with the pants. Select deform joints, skin, smooth bind. And then I can grab the body. And then I could hold down shift, grab the pants, and I can go skin, and I can go copy skin weights from one to the other. We still got some issues with those, the pants, though. I think I'm going to do it primarily on the coat here. The tricks that I could do on the pants, just so you know. So, this coat. What I'm going to do first is I've got two different coats. So, there's this one, okay? And this one's thin. There is some kind of funkiness here. I might consider doing this a little bit different. Because it kind of goes and peters around here, but that should be okay. Okay, great. And I made sure it was hollow. There's nothing extra on it, because nCloth likes it if it's a thin surface. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I can go in and I can take this and I can select the deform joints and I could skin, smooth bind. Okay, so the nCloth coat has got binding on it, and I can do the thing again where I copy, take the body and take the coat, skin, and I can copy my weights. And remember, I want to paint the weights for the body first before I do this. Okay, so now it's going to follow whatever the body does, or whatever the skeleton tells it to do. But what I can do is I can take this thing now after I've weighted it and everything, and I can go over to nDynamics, and I can go into nMesh, and I can create nCloth. Okay, so I just created nCloth, and actually I just realized something. I haven't saved in a while, and if I crashed right now, I'd be sad. So I'm just going to call this, let's go and call this number 2. There. And you already see my naming conventions is starting to get out of control too, but whatever. Okay, so I've made that into nCloth, and we can do things like with nCloth. Do I need this open? No, I'll just move this over here. With nCloth, what I can do is, let Let's just isolate this for a second. I can go into the nCloth settings and we see collisions, dynamic properties. There's a thing here called input mesh attract. Boop. I can turn that up to 1. I can go down a bit further and then there's dynamic property maps. And in dynamic property maps, the input attract map type is set to texture. I'm going to put it to per vertex. And if I go in here to nMesh and I say paint vertex properties and I go into the input attract, okay, and whenever you do this, there's a little bug here, paint attribute. It always goes to collide strength, but you're looking for input attract. You always have to do that. You also have to watch out that if you're in this window, there's hotkeys that'll hit. And first thing I always do is I come over and I change my brush size. If I hit B on my keyboard, it goes to bounce, and then you're trying to paint, and you're going, what the hell is going on? And then you just be aware that happens. So input attract, I got to click on this first before I can go and change my brush size. Okay, and I could also do things like, oh, I hate that feature, that freaking auto docking. Freak off. There. Okay. If I go back over this way and I turn on my stroke, I can put on reflection so I can paint two sides at once. And what I might want here is, in this case here with the coat, I'd like it if we had a little bit of cuffs that drifted, and in particular I want this to bounce. Okay, I want that to follow when the character moves. And I can go in here, replace with a value of 0, and I'm just going to go in and paint it in. Sometimes they'll put on the color ramp so you can see exactly what you're getting, and then you also notice it doesn't go right away. So I like this one up here, that brush, because that definitely knocks everything off. So I'm painting. So what this means is the top part of the body is going to be affected by the bones, and this part here is going to be end dynamics when I'm finished. I'm also going to flip it to smooth, and I'll hit flood a few times. Okay, so they blend together. Okay, and you can do that with the collar too if you want to, whatever you want. Collar, cuffs, and I'll call that good. So now if I were to press play, and I only have 10 frames, so maybe I'd like 200. And if I press play, and I also should check my playback speed, is it on play every frame? Okay, great. And so now you're seeing that's bound, and this isn't. Okay, cool. So I'm just going to go back to the first frame, and so that's working. And well, then what do I want to do? What I want to do next is maybe we might even do something like we might make the body into a passive collider just in case we don't want the... Oh, crap. I tried to select this body through this window. I just clicked on it. Okay, I'll pause. Okay, so then if I go in here to nMesh and I hit create passive collider, okay, so that means that the coat is going to hit the body and it'll behave. Let's let it do its thing. See if it does anything. And I could probably do this to the pants too. I'm going to do the exact same procedure to the pants. Okay, this is taking forever. I'm just going to hit escape. You kind of get the idea. Then what I'm going to do is just trying to remember how I do this one. I could always forget the order for this one. I do believe I select this coat wrap. So this is the one that was modeled, and it's got thickness. Okay, so that it doesn't look like this weird thin object. And she didn't go all the way up into the inside, which is good. And same thing over in here and in here. Okay, cool. I'm going to select the nCloth coat that I made then. And then I can go flipping over into animation. And I can go to create deformers, and I'm going to create a wrap deformer. Okay, and so now we're going to check out the wrap deformer. So what that's going to do... Uh-oh, did I just deselect in this window and then it lags? Okay. Well, we're going to see in a second. I'll pause. Okay, so I'm watching the simulation kick in. And now you can see that the nCloth coat that we have here is pushing around this other coat. And therefore, we don't have to do as much work. Okay, and I think I'm going to stop that here. Okay, great. And so you see, there we go. That's how to make the nCloth work for the coat. And that same procedure will work for the pants. I might just make these things so they're floppy, and I might paint it so maybe behind the knees, and the rest can be affected by weights if you want to. Okay? Just depends on what you're looking for. The buttons. I think I'm going to make that into a separate video, so I think I should stop here. I think I've covered a lot of ground in fixing this up here. Okay, so stop.